Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our public meeting. My name is Publio. I'm gonna sing a couple of songs to prepare our environment, and I hope you can like it. Scheduling meeting. At nightfall, at Peter's home, so simple, inside the room, all filled with peace, so full of light. Listen the eternal words of Jesus Christ. I imagine myself able to occupy a seat with John, Peter, and James in the car along the side of the Gennesaret. So in the soul forever, sees of our face, and I such a child, still how amazing dream. Who knows if Jesus would take me to walk with him in that yard of Peter's house under the moonlight, enjoying the scene of the sea and the breeze of the night. Jesus says to me, it's time for you to go back. We will be together again in the night of the gospel and love, and we'll be together again. Of the gospel. This is a song for a friend of us from Brazil. His name is Cesar Tucci, and he did this song in Portuguese, and a group of United States did the translation. So, song to Mother Zephyrina. Source of blood that radiates, warming up our cold night, support and comfort, support and comfort, as gates mount down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in my room. The solution lies in my room. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make you small son a good Christian, make you small son a good Christian. The next one, Good Old Man. It's about Bezerra de Menezes. Look, the wise colors of the sky, gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, turquoise color of the sky. Gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Present Apostle of the Lord, receive our prayers and also our heart. Apostle of the Lamb, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ.
Seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. You will see that behind every sight there's a flame shining bright, tiny spark created by God. I will follow your path, Father. Nobody's alone in life, and the scars of my destiny will be healed by your love. Disseminate wherever you are, glowing seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. As our Master Jesus taught.
Another day, another flower, another minute past the hour. Someday the sky is blue, and suddenly we can't see through. And every day is a fresh new start, when the sun turns off the moonlight. We get another chance to choose the road we want to cruise, and On the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road. The new beginning calling after every end. There are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. On the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road. And the new beginning calling after every end. And there are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round.
When I go in to pray, I look for my good Jesus. And when I close my eyes, I can feel all His light. I open my heart for all He has to say. He shows me the best way I can enjoy my life. Jesus, Jesus, they never we apart. Please bring all your light to shine inside my heart. Jesus, Jesus, I can be content. I have your endless love and your protecting hand.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Spiritist talk. Thank you for joining us. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place if possible. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Then, after the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. We would also like to announce that our talk is being retransmitted today by Continental Concafres Americas through their Facebook, and also every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube. We have a special invitation for who wants to learn more about Spiritism. Every Saturday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern, we have an online and free class on our course Get to Know Spiritism. The next class will be on November 11th, and the theme of this meeting will be plurality of inhabited worlds. If you are interested, join us. The registration link will be posted in the chat. We offer virtual live gospel at home. The gospel at home is an effective support for you and your family's spiritual harmony. We will motivate and guide you in establishing and maintaining the gospel at home study meetings. By posting in the chat, you can request it. Please let us know. You are also welcome to include your or someone else's names on the list of positive vibrations, incarnate or discarnate. The person you indicate will be assisted by good spirits to provide healing, energy, and strengthen goodwill. Please find the link in our chat. The topic of today's meeting is false prophets. From chapter 21, there will be false Christs and false prophets. Items 8 and 9, which will be facilitated by our sister Veronica from Winnipeg. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and they will be addressed at the end of the talk. And now, we would like to invite tonight's speaker, who will also do our opening prayer. Welcome, sister.
Hi, Rodrigo. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today.
Have a wonderful talk, and I see you later.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Rodrigo. So, I invite everyone to join me in this opening prayer. So, let's find ourselves in a comfortable position and close our eyes, trying to connect with our protector spirit, with our friends from the invisible realm. And let's visualize our Master Jesus full of light and the vibration of love and peace that comes from his heart. Dear God, we are so thankful for this opportunity where we gather to collect, to gain seeds of hope and love that comes from the teachings of Jesus, coming from the gospel that brings good news into our lives on earth. May we please count with the assistance of the good spirits to tune us to the right teachings, to the meaning of the teachings that will pacify our hearts. Please, God, may we, with these teachings, be instruments on earth of peace, of love, progress, and spiritual enlightenment. We are thankful, dear God. Thank you, Master Jesus. Thank you, Spirit's friends. So be it. So I'm just going to share my screen. We have a few slides. Here. One second. Share screen. Here we go. Here. Okay. All right. So as Rodrigo said, today we are gonna talk that we are still on chapter 21, where we look at the notion of false Christs and false prophets. We've been studying this chapter for a couple weeks already, and today we enter on items 8 and 9, which are going to talk about the Spiritist teachings. So the Spiritist teachings are a session in each chapter where Kardec presents a collection of messages coming from the spirits regarding that topic. So today we are going to study two, two messages from the spirits Louis and Erastus. And they both mention about false prophets. So Jesus' recommendation is very clear. Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. So Jesus is very clear saying that at the beginning it's hard to identify false prophets, but with time they reveal themselves who they really are. So that's already a very strong message that we should watch carefully. We should observe and look at people who claim to be a prophet, right? And we have studied in this chapter the notion of prophet is not only that person who can foresee the future, but in the context of spirituality, a prophet is an individual who has a message, a divine message, right? So it is someone who can serve as a connection between us and God, between us and the Creator. So these individuals are the prophets. So not necessarily they need to foresee the future, but they might tell us how we can to they can help us to see what is the God's wishes in terms of us helping the humankind, helping Earth to progress, right? Because if they are messengers of God, for sure they are bringing a message where we as co-creators are going to help in the progress of Earth. So the recommendation about watch out watch out for false prophets is a recommendation that is very useful at this time on Earth because the Earth, the planet we are living in, is transitioning from a world of expiations and tests to a world of regeneration. And we learn in the very early chapters in the Gospel, according to Spiritism, that this planet of regeneration means that when we transition to that, the earth will have more goodness than evil, right? So we will start to outweigh evil with goodness. Right now, is still evil is prevalent on words of proving expiation. And because we are going through this transition, and we call that a planetary transition because the whole world is going to become a planet of regeneration. So We cannot say that one country is going to be a country of regeneration, another one is going to be a country of expiation. No, the entire world has to move forward and become a planet of regeneration. So that's the key thing. When we have this transition, because we have spirits incarnated and discarnated living still in different levels of progress, we still have spirits that are still ignorant. They still find pleasure with evil, and we have at the same time spirits that are seeking to improve themselves, help each other, being charitable. We start to have a clash of power there. So what Spirit Erastus is telling us that this recommendation is important because during the transition, many spirits who are still ignorant and still don't want the light, they still don't want the progress, they are still very attached to matter, to physical pleasures, sensations, material sensations. They will work hard to delay this progress of earth. And along with these spirits come the false prophets. These are individuals, incarnated or discarnated, that show themselves as a sheep, right? They start and try to persuade others to do evil things, to not do good, or to not progress, right? So that's why it says here that they create a multitude of schemes and they try to present themselves as reformers, as messiahs, as good individuals. But over time, they start to reveal themselves. So we should distrust, we should not trust on false prophets. So, given that these false prophets can take us to the wrong path, we should be able to recognize them. So the Spirit Louis give us uh, show us list how some characteristics of these false prophets. So how can we recognize them? So usually these individuals, they may say that they are coming to share a message from God or Christ. They usually use a flattering or sweet sounding words, and they might sound very sweet. They present themselves as a messenger from the good, and they claim of solely possessors of absolute truth. So they would try to attract people saying, I have the truth. I have seen God. I have seen Jesus. I know what's true. You have to follow me. They tend to appear as in public displays of religious or to show their religious or moral authority in a tone that's much more of ostentation or self righteousness. So they try to present themselves as perfect, as being perfect, and being an example of religious and moral authority. And they tend to speak with arrogance and always, they seem to be at the same time fearful of not being believed, right? Because they are creating, right, a false statement. So they always have to watch their backs to make sure that they are not caught. So these are some of the signs, right? So when we see these in isolation or combination, the advice is that we should not trust at the first time, right? We should stop, observe, analyze, and the time will tell, right? Whether they are really messengers of good news. So there are also individuals who act as impostors. They present themselves as apostles of Christ, and sometimes they even present themselves as Christ himself. And many people, unfortunately, fall in these statements, right? In these claims, and start to follow individuals instead of considering following the teachings of Christ above any individual. So the question we have to make is, do those who present themselves as Christ possesses all Christ's virtues? Because if I am a message of Christ, or if I'm Christ myself, I should show all the virtues and characteristics of Jesus, right? On earth. So usually these imposters have their ideas and actions that lack the distinctive qualities of Christ. They lack humility, they lack charity. It's just empty words. They do possess the opposite, though. They tend to show greed and pride. So false prophets are like low quality actors, right? Those very low scale actors, they try to pretend to be a personality, for example, Jesus, but they act very badly, right? They fall short in representing Jesus' virtues, values, and intelligence. And if if Jesus were going to reincarnate on earth again, Jesus would not come with flaws, virtuous flaws, right? Jesus would come fully with his full power in terms of values, righteousness, and virtues, right? Because that's part of Jesus' identity. So we cannot hold a lie for too long. And that's very clear because we cannot pretend we are someone we are not, right? So the Spirit Louis advises, run from those who display one atom of pride. So one atom, even a hint of pride, because they are contagious lepers who infect everything they touch. So the Spirit Louis make an association that those who claim to be those who have pride in their hearts, they tend to be contagious and tend to drag with them to the wrong path those who are around that perhaps are not that strong. And we may all fall on that because we are still spirits crawling into evolution, right? We are progressing. We still have weaknesses. We still have many things to improve ourselves. So we could fall on that. Nobody is immune to this. So the Spirit advises to avoid individuals who exhibit even a small amount of arrogance or pride. They can be highly contagious and could spread negative qualities to others. So, prideful individuals can have a detrimental influence on those around them. So, we should be watching again, right? We should pray to be strong, to resist to temptations, to resist to bad inclinations, and we should observe others' behavior. And if we are going to follow somebody, let's choose somebody that shows virtues and qualities that we want to have too, right? So that's the purpose, right? The purpose is us to improve ourselves. So let's try to gather around people that really help us to move forward, right? If I'm going through a difficulty with addiction, for example, if I continue surrounded by people who enjoy the same type of addiction, it's pretty hard to move, right? So we need to find people we can rely on to improve ourselves, right? Um, okay, so we have to run away. Sometimes we can run away, but we can be alert to not get into that. So the question is then, do true prophets exist at all? So the question is, do prophets, in the sense, those people, are there people in a mission to actually spread the divine laws, teach humankind the divine laws, help the humanity to become more charitable, to become one single nation, to unite individuals, right? To bring peace, to bring enlightenment, to bring love? Are those people, these prophets, do exist? So for that, if we reflect on that, and if we reflect on God and try to envision and understand God as our creator, as a loving father that knows everything, that create us simple and ignorant, but with love, why would God not send messengers, enlightened, more evolved messengers, to help us progress? Our, if we think about parents on earth, a father would hire, if they can, a tutor to help their children to learn, right? We would try to look for services to help our children. So why God, who is much more loving and perfect than us, would not do to their child? So true prophets do exist, and the Spiritistas help us to understand how God selects these individuals. So God, as all-knowing and wise, carefully choose them to fulfill important missions, which is the mission of help us to progress. So these individuals are marked by competence and prudence in leadership. So God is not going to assign tasks to individuals who are not able to complete the task. Right? God is perfect, knows everything. How come he would hire me, Veronica, to build a bridge? Where I don't have any idea how to build a bridge. No, he's gonna assign spirits, individuals that have the competence, have the merit, have the knowledge to do it. These individuals have not only intellectual, but they have moral superiority. So it's not only by knowledge, but they are virtual individuals. Virtuous individuals, not virtual, they are real. They are virtuous individuals. These individuals have a moralizing influence on others. So they have a positive impact on others. They make people feel good. They help people to improve themselves, become better human beings. And they have wisdom and experience that they acquire from previous lifetimes. So these individuals may not be pure spirits yet, but they are in a stage that is more advanced than we are now. And that's all we need. We just need to climb the next step in the ladder. And then when we are a little bit higher, other spirits that are ahead of us will come. So this shows that these individuals, they are just like us. They are spirits like us. They just are more experienced and they learned the lesson earlier than us. So how can we then recognize these true prophets? So first, Erastus explained that most of the time, these prophets, they have they don't have an exact conscious about their mission. They have an unconscious mission. They carry out their tasks, right? They carry out making good deeds, making good every around them, helping people, but they are moved by their own talents. So they use their talents, their skills, what they are good at, to produce, to make something good, something better. And they also have this inspiration, this internal inspiration, motivation, that is a powerful guide towards what they have to do without really having conscious of it. So they tend, we maybe in human words, we would say they are self-motivated, right? They are in, seekers for improvement, seekers for excellence. So these are individuals that don't really have a conscious about their mission, but they are recognized by others. So they don't claim that they are in a mission for God, right? They have a divine mission, but others do notice the difference because they are reviewed, these individuals are reviewed by their actions and their deeds. They are discovered, reviewed because they show this positive influence on other lives, other people's lives, but they never announce themselves as being better or more evolved than others, and they are they reflect their humility and modesty at all the time. So these are the signs of true spirits, of true prophets. So in the Spiritist book, question 624, Kardec asks the spirits, what are the characteristics of true prophets? And the spirits go and answer. True prophets are moral individuals inspired by God in whom we may recognize by their words and deeds. So right there, we see that these are moral individuals. So the spirits are not saying that these are extraterrestrial individuals, supernatural individuals. No, they are individuals, human beings like us, but they are moral individuals. And they, because they have a high level of morality, they can be inspired by God to make good use of their words and their actions. And if we think at it, why do they have to be moral individuals? Because to listen to God and be inspired by the Creator, we need to put aside our own pride, our own individualistic wishes, our selfishness to actually commit to God's wishes, right? And going on, the spirits also complement the answer by saying God does not employ a liar to teach the truth. So the true prophet is cannot be a liar. It's the one that who is really telling divine about the divine laws. So Jesus, as the governor of earth, he is in charge of the progress of earth. And on behalf of God, Christ coordinates how this mobility of true prophets would come on earth in order to help us to progress as needed. So those sent by Christ disseminate his teachings and assist with the regeneration of humankind on earth. So these are missionaries that come with special missions to give us an example about how we should behave in order to make Earth a better place, in order for us to progress to a world of regeneration. And these individuals will follow Christ's examples. They will be kind, modest, humble of heart above all else, because they are representatives of Christ. So they would be behaving and try to behave in a similar way as Christ, because Christ would also not send a messenger that cannot really explain the message, right? Can transcribe the message. And these um, these um, these prophets, they will show by example and guidance. So by that, the Spirit Louis is being very clear that the true prophets will not only say words of encouragement or enlightenment words, but they will also give the example. They'll give a life example about how to live a virtuous life. So, if those who say that they are vested with divine power are accompanied by all the signs of such a mission, that is, if they possess the highest degree of the eternal and Christian virtues, so the true prophets will show charity, love, indulgence, the goodness that reconciles all the souls, and in support of the words they add actions, then these we can say that they are truly messages of God. And that will be this, uh, they they will show these virtues 24 hours a day, right? So it's not going to be an individual who in front of others are going to smile all the time, and in the back they would be doing wrong things. So a tree is known by its fruit. So that's what the it says in the Bible, in the Gospel, and also the Spiritists are bringing back here for us to always think in this statement when we have to discriminate, we have to distinguish between false and true prophets. So the deeds are what you must examine. A person's character and true nature are evident not only in their appearance, but more important in their actions. We cannot we cannot hide who we are by our actions. And so we really show who we are, right? So people's behavior reflects whether they are morally upright and admirable or morally degraded. So by our behavior we know who we are in our moral stage, right? So many times people might think, oh, but I don't know who I am, right? I don't know exactly what I want. I don't know who I am. I think I'm a good person. I'm not a bad person. And if we do a careful analysis on our actions, analysis on our thoughts, our feelings, even the thoughts that nobody can know, right? That's only inside our minds. We can know exactly how morally and upright we are. Am I a person who are always seeking for material benefits? I am driven by progress, material progress, more money or a bigger house or more goods, material things? Or am I looking for finding a meaning in this life, how I can improve myself? Am I a person who is very upset about pain, suffering around me, and do I try to help? Do I try to use my resources to help others, or do I seek for knowledge? Do I seek for new ways of thinking, new ways of living? So that's what I'm made of. So the the thing is that we are talking about false prophets, true prophets, as somebody else, right? That will come on our way. But we could also be false prophets. So Emmanuel in this message, not in Bordeaux, that was a mistake, but Emmanuel in a psychography by Chico Xavier, he says that false prophet is not only the one who disturbs the service of religious faith. So it's not a individual who is just acting regarding faith or religious actions or way or thoughts, right? Or ideas. But every time we forget our obligations of solidarity towards our fellow human beings, harm the service we are meant to provide, stray from our testimonies of humility, and oppress the lesser beings, we become false prophets of the higher ideal we embrace with Christ, because we have a task, we have a mission at a level of our level of progress. So everyone on earth has a mission. So every time we forget our obligations, and this mission could be small. We may not save a country, we may not freedom a people, a community, but we have a mission within our family. All of us have, because we were all born within a family. We have people around us, we have a mission with them. So every time we don't fulfill that, we are acting as false prophets. So becoming a true prophet is we have to develop courage. So this message ends with uh, actually a positive insight and words of encouragement for us to become true prophets. So we should have courage. We should go forth, therefore, and always and have no fear. We should have no fear because we know that the fear can hinder our progress toward our spiritual objective, our spiritual progress, and we will find trials and challenges, but these are temporary because we know from Spiritism that this existence is temporary, and we should focus on the long-term progress. So, to become a true prophet, we should commit ourselves. Commit to what? We should allow our hearts to follow the Spiritist doctrine that came on our way in this life, that reveal to us the eternal laws and satisfy our aspirations, the aspirations of the soul, and give us comfort because we start to understand the unknown. And from Spiritism, we know that death disappears, and we will uh, also, by fulfilling our tasks, we will have always count with the mercy and forgiveness of our Creator, because God is full of love. And to become a true prophet, we need to progress. So we must press on and advance without ceasing. So we should not be fearful. We should walk all the way. And our banner should be progress, continual progress in all things, until we finally arrive in the happy destination where we will meet everyone that precedes us. So, Jesus' recommendation then for us to be true prophets: go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. So, whenever we are, wherever you are now, that's the place you have to be a true prophet where you are, around people around you. How can we be a true prophet? By words, but most importantly, by our example. Okay, so I think that's what I have today. Thank you very much for the opportunity to study this topic, and I think Rodrigo will come back.
Thank you for giving us the water of life today.
Yeah.
We may have a few questions. All right. Are the false prophets linked only with religions or other groups too, giving different ideas of spiritual development?
Mm-hmm. Um, False prophets are everywhere, right? If you assume you are on earth on a task and on a mission, every time we insert discord, confusion, we make things, we act in a way to slow down progress. We to slow down people's. We create obstacles. We are being false prophets, right? Because we are not teaching the right thing. So we have recently the notion of like fake news. Fake news are not always linked to religion. It can be any controversy, any hot topics that are complicated, and people might be spreading fake news, right? Or we might be enticing discussion that have no that will just dissent people, right? That just create argument with no improvement, not progress. So no, it can be anywhere. It can be at work, religious groups, on the street, walking, within people we sit on the bus, anywhere.
Very good example. I also loved your comparison of a false prophet with an unskilled actor.
Yes,
Eventually, the role drops.
yes, exactly. It's a very bad play, right? And it is usually ends up in a fiasco. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, many people, naive people, sometimes fall into those words, right? So we should be very careful. And sometimes it's because we are caught in a moment of weaknesses, right? And then those things may happen.
Let me see if we have more questions. Yes. What should we do if we notice that someone is acting as a false prophet close to us?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, the message in the Spiritist teaching said that is everyone role responsibility to unmask them, right? So we should make as much as possible, um, show them the review them, right? Sometimes people might be acting as false prophets with not knowing what they are talking about, right? So we should perhaps approach them and ask for clarification, right? But we should act as Jesus did, right? So Jesus saw many wrongdoings around him, right? At this time, he never used violence. He only spoke to those who were in condition to listen. So we should be using his example in order to actually interacting with these individuals. But there are simple things we can do, right? So instead of forwarding messages in our social media off the bat without analyzing it, let's stop and reflect before doing that. Is that going to cause any good, or will be just gossipy, or will just be throwing one more problem to other people to see, right? So by just doing this, we are already acting against false prophets.
Like even by simply doing some fact check
Yes,
before we forward a message, right?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think we have more questions.
Okay.
So thank you very much once again. It was wonderful to listen to you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here and study this topic. So, yeah. So let's see you next time.
See you next time.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Good night.
Well, thank you for your participation in our chat. Um, we will now move to the preparation for tonight's spiritual treatment. PASS is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. PASSes help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with healthy, positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from PASSes, please follow the audio instructions and or remaining prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. During the pass, the water you set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that your family and you can benefit from. We will now make a prayer in preparation for the pass, which will be our closing prayer as well. So I ask you to close your eyes and try to elevate your thoughts to our Master, to our true prophet, Jesus. Thank you, Father. Thank you for the spiritual food we have just received. Bless in special our sister Veronica, who prepared, who donated her time to this cause. Thank you. Thank you because we are united in your name. 2,000 years ago, Christians had to hide it in caves to pray and study your gospel. And we have the privilege to be here freely united in your holy name. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for our health. And even if we are sick, thank you for so much else in our body that works perfectly. Thank you because we have a home, we have a shelter. Thank you for our food. Thank you for so much we receive from you. We ask you, Father, to give us wisdom to not be false prophets to our brothers, but instead to reflect a little bit of you in our actions towards our brothers and sisters. Give strength to this group. Help us continue this work. And thank you again for this study. In your holy name, Father, we pray. Amen.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The path begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil, washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the Pass. Thank you, God.
Thank you again for joining us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Conference Americas at 8 p.m. Eastern, and next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from Spiritism Canada and Spiritism Group Path of Light. God bless each one of you and have a wonderful night.
Seminary